My name is Jim Henches, and I've been asked by the stewardship team to give a brief talk about stewardship. My wife and I have been members of Hope for many, many years. I can tell you the exact date because it was 2 days before our eldest was born. And I think that our stewardship to Hope has been based upon two things: the abundant grace of giving, as mentioned in 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 7, to excel in everything, including excelling in giving, but also as thanks for the abundant grace of God. Our children grew up in Hope. The Hope community helped raise them. They went on mission trips. They've been in the choirs. They participated as chaperones for other mission trips. Hope's been a very important part of their upbringing. And we tried to, during those years, really excel in our giving. We didn't make it all the time. We didn't increase all the time. But we did try to make sure that we gave to Hope because of the family feel and the ability to trust the community of Hope to help us raise our children. And if I have to say so myself, they're pretty darn good kids, or young adults now, I guess. And they're doing a nice job of raising their children, those who have them, in Christian ways. Now, the other side of that coin is the abundant grace of God. We give to Hope because God has blessed us so much with his grace and his presence in our lives. We've taken part in many things. Hope has improved our spiritual life. We're well on our way on our spiritual journey. We'll never reach the end. We get that until the time when we meet the Lord. But the pastors at Hope and the outreaches of Hope have been very important, and it helps us to thank God for his grace that he has given us. And 2020 has been a tough year in everyone. I teach high school, and it's just been, one up and down after another. I don't see all of my students, but there's always a silver lining. And I think for me, the fact that we're doing the semi-remote, semi-in-person thing has taught me new things about myself and the way I teach and how I can really more effectively reach students. But 2020 has been ups and downs. We had a wedding. Our last child to get married found someone that he loves, and we had a wedding. It's a blessing. God's grace, again, is abundant. My brother-in-law needed a heart transplant. He found a heart transplant in time, a blessing of God. My life has been difficult recently, if you will. In March, I had pulmonary embolisms, blood clots in my lungs, which might seem as maybe not a blessing, but it was God talking to me, because as they were dealing with my heart or with my pulmonary embolisms, they found that I had cancer. And so I was able to start with my treatments with cancer so early that it hasn't spread anywhere. And as a matter of fact, my last CT scan showed about an aggregate 15% decrease in the size of the tumor. Some changed, some decreased. They changed well. Some stayed the same, but none grew. There was no spread. And that was a blessing because we were able to find it early. And finding that I had cancer, it took me a while to realize that it actually was a blessing from God, because I found out that there are many people who I've been able to touch throughout the years. When my wife went on Facebook and announced that I had cancer, ex-students came out of the woodwork to tell me how much I meant to them, how much my teaching influenced their lives. And so that was a blessing. And for that, we always try to do our best in our giving, to be abundant in our giving, because God's grace is abundant. It's always there. We have to find it. But that's why we give money to Hope, to thank God, to help propel the mission of Hope, to help keep the Hope community alive. And that's the last thing I'll say is the Hope community has been so positive with me, praying and sending positive thoughts and cards and things along those lines. And I just thank the community of Hope My family thanks Community of Hope for that outreach, but that's God's grace. And for that, I think we can give to hope. We can give to God. We can give in honor of God's grace, because that's what really makes a difference in our lives. So as we go through the stewardship season, think about what you can give to the church to thank God for his abundant grace. Thank you.